All right, everybody, Bryce here, coming at you with another real quick crypto market update. And boy, oh boy, where do I even start this week? It's been totally bonkers. The price of Bitcoin crashed all the way down to about $20,000, the former all-time high in the past bubble. You guys saw Ethereum went down to $1,000, which was about $400 lower than the last bubble. So these asset prices are getting knocked down. Value of these assets continues, the underlying fundamental value continues to grow as, there's more users on the network, as, applications continue to get developed. But with the liquidity getting sucked out of the market by the Federal Reserve, with interest rates being hiked, with the stocks and bonds having their worst year on record, crypto is fighting an uphill battle. And we're seeing some of the most prestigious firms in crypto blow up. Namely, Three Arrows Capital, right? This is a hedge fund that we've talked about in the past. They were, billions and billions of dollars under management. And over the course of the last couple days, as the price of Bitcoin fell and Ethereum, a lot of their leverage was shrunk. Their margins were shrunk, and they're getting margin called from all their other lenders. And so this is problematic because the folks that were lending to them are going to take haircuts, and there's going to be maybe continued forced selling in the market with such a large liquidation. We also have another firm named Celsius that, we've interviewed Alex Mashinsky before. Seemed like they were running a really tight shop, and things, apparently now are going sour. I see on Twitter everybody's talking about how accounts are frozen on Celsius, and this is the risk of using a centralized platform, right? Celsius was doing, DeFi aggregation in order to get yield passed on to their customers. And, and they were also doing, institutional lending to earn yield that way. And they were running, like a little mini bank. And, there was basically like a bank run, and people are freaking out. So they are freezing accounts. And so we're going to see how that unfolds. But again, all of this is like a stress test on the market. And at the end of the day, right, markets don't go down forever. They certainly don't go up forever. And so we're going to come out of this, and we're going to come out of this stronger, because the cream is going to be rising to the top, right? And we'll have basically at the end of all of this, whenever that might be, whether it's at the end of this month, next month, maybe a few months out, what's going to happen is all of the weak coins, all of the weak systems are going to be flushed out. All of the weak funds, they're going to be flushed out, and we're going to be left with a more robust, more sustainable, better environment for sustainable growth. Now, one of the things that you guys all need to do, in my opinion at least, is in light of all of this kind of collapse, whether it's, collapse of an exchange or collapse of a token like Luna and UST, I just want to remind you guys that you need to be diversified. Okay, and what does diversification look like in the crypto market? It's not just diversification across coins. Like, hey, I have Bitcoin and I have Ethereum and I have these three other coins, so boom, I'm diversified. You're not diversified if you're, for instance, all in the same stable coin, right? So if you are all on the same exchange, you're not diversified. You need to have different coins across different wallets, across different exchanges. I mean, that is how you protect yourself from going up in smoke during this bear market, right? The asset prices going down, that's one thing you needed to protect yourself against. And don't get me wrong, that's extremely difficult in these environments. But what's very easy to do in these environments is lose your shirt because you're on an exchange that's not reputable, or you're on a wallet that doesn't have the best security, right? And so it's extremely important to not only be, if you're in stable coins right now, have a little bit of USDT Tether, have a little bit of USDC, right? Have it across exchanges, because as we're seeing, when there's price pressure in these markets and when the tide is coming out, we get to see who's left with no bathing suit on eventually. And as the water's coming out, there's been a few that have been caught with their trunks off, and it hasn't been a pretty picture. I think everybody's feeling it right now, and even these big multi-billion-dollar hedge funds misplaced and misallocated their bets. I saw on Twitter that this Three Arrows Capital company, they lost like $600 million in the Luna fiasco, and that kind of started the daisy chain of margin calls. And so, look, you got to stay diversified. You got to also be positive during these periods, because one of the things that, like, if you look at the long-term charts of Bitcoin and you throw on the RSI, which is like the most popular momentum indicator, on the monthly chart, the RSI is at the same exact point where it bottomed in the past bear markets. So there is precedent to say, hey, we are oversold beyond belief, more oversold than we've been in any bear market. And that could be, a very good opportunity to be buying, right? We also look on the weekly RSI. The weekly RSI has never been lower, okay? Which indicates that this bear market, right? This price pressure is so extreme, but extremes tend to revert, right? You always want to, or like markets generally revert back to the mean, back to the average, and we're so below where the average generally is that there could be a very strong bounce off of this low. You also got to think about how, depressed and angry the market is right now. And these environments force people to kind of sell even against their long-term belief, right? So people just are selling in anticipation of buying back lower a few $1,000s, right? They're like, oh, I'll sell this at $20,000 because, I want to buy it back at $10,000. And people think after already a 70% drawdown that they could juice out another 50%. And, I think that sort of environment is is primed for, a bullish reversal, because the bears are so overconfident right now. The bears are gloating. The bears are saying they were right and they're going to be right forever. Crypto's going to zero. But the bulls, right? The bulls, the long-term bulls, which are, by the way, supporting the 200-week moving average, which has been the low for every bear market, the 200-week moving average. But, the bears are overconfident right now in the same way that the bulls were overconfident when we were up at $69,000, thinking everything's going to go to $100,000, thinking the market's just going to rip forever, and with no end in sight. And then there was the reversal, right? The bearish reversal. So we're on the flip side of that now, where, the bears are gloating and everybody's bragging about their shorts, right? Their shorts. And I think that this is prime time for a short squeeze. And so we'll keep you posted. But without further ado, guys, that's the market update. And now, if you're not following the markets very actively, and you're not doing your fundamental research and your technical research, well, I got a big surprise for you today. If you just click that button below, guys, what you're going to be introduced to is what I think is the best cryptocurrency to buy in this market environment, okay? By a combination of technical research, fundamental research, looking at the team, looking at the vision, looking at the sector and the total addressable market, guys, I truly believe I found a true winner. What I think is going to be one of the best, if not the best performer in this next cycle. So click that link, find out, and join the party, okay, guys? Because crypto's not going anywhere. And it's the people that buy and accumulate the fundamentally strong coins during this market cycle, okay? It's those people that end up reaping the rewards when the bull market comes back, okay? You need to prepare yourself now, not in a year, right? You don't want to be buying in a year when prices have already skyrocketed. You want to buy them now at rock bottom prices, but you want to find the best coins. So with that being said, guys, click the button below and find out what I'm buying.